I haven't done any work on it since I came back from Harvard. I was so hyped and so excited that it worked in the middle of the presentations that this is why I kind of messed it up. But here you go. So I take a CSV file from the human genome annotation dataset. It's larger, rather large, 34 megabytes. So I take the first 1,000 rows of this CSV just as a prototype. Then I go here and I launch a panel UI server with the source code, which basically instantiates the three AutoGen agents that I shared with you before, but they are like slightly changed. And I open it on port 5012. So it starts a Boca server, which I now go and can open. Again, ask me what I'd like to do. It already has the path to the CSV. Of course, we can change that if necessary. And I already have a predefined question that I'm going to just paste here. It says, analyze this genomic data and plot distribution of features across chromosomes. Create a stacked bar chart showing the count of different features. So I'll go here. And again, I have not done any work. It immediately plots this. Like, it's crazy. Then I have to close the graph. This is why the demo did not work. I have to close the graph. And it bugs out twice. And it essentially shares with me the code that it used for plotting it. It gives me a score of the code, 9 out of 10. It gives the strength and improvements. And does some stuff. It kind of bugs out a little bit because it starts to kind of talk to itself in empty lines. But in the end, it says, okay, I have terminated my task. I have completed what I need to do. So if I go back here and I look at what's happening, as I've just started a new session, 1 minute ago, so it's 10:25, as you can see, it immediately uses this to plot some code. So it reads my query, creates the code, then runs it on the CSV, executes it, which is successful. The critic then says how to improve the chart. So it executes it again. That's why we run into this problem. And then it says the code ran successfully, the bar chart is there, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then it kind of does this. Now, what I can do next is I can go back to my UI and I can put here, can you give me some summary statistics about this dataset? So it starts to hopefully work in the background, as you can see. And I can see that I asked it to give me summary statistics. So it starts to execute. It plots a little thing, looks at the DF of the pandas data frame, looks at some lines, and gives me a summary statistics. And it says terminate, so it finished its task. So we come back here. Oh, again, it kind of starts to bug out a little bit. But if I go here, as you can see, it added the code, and added the description, told me what is in this table, and it terminated. Okay. Can you do some PCA on this data, right? And plot this for me. All right, so I give this some PCA task. Again, I can go back here, and I can see that I asked it to do PCA. It already started immediately to load the data, to read the head. All right, and then it generates some code, plan to execute the PCA, as you can see, and then it writes the Python code, fails to execute it. It happens every time. I've tried it just now, because NumPy is not defined in the code, so it will then go and try and fix it. So it says import NumPy, executes again. Let's see. Execution successful, bam. Then it will pass this to the critic. The coder is now executing it to create a plot. All right. It will try and fix it. Sorry, it's getting a bit long, but this is why I guess it wasn't working. Let's see what happens next. Oof. I'm still waiting. So it did do this task for me before successfully. I don't know if it's gonna create again. It's probably trying to skip and do something. Okay, it made some changes. Oh no. It needs to remove the nons. It needs to remove the nons. Meanwhile, I'll show you that I did actually have a PCA in the previous iteration. There you go, something happening. Boom, it gives us the PCA on this data. And now that it's successfully executed, it should then go into the termination stage. So it gets stuck. This is why during the presentation, what happened is I need to close this window. Only then it proceeds. So it doesn't send it to the background. This is why I got stuck during the demo. All right. So it passes it to the critic. Okay, critic replots it again. This is some weird shit. Okay, it says the PCA is successful, and then it decides to terminate. We go here, PCA gives me the code. Gives me all my data. Oh, okay. So one thing it doesn't do, it doesn't add the graph here, but I think it's because I didn't tell it to put the graph here. If I could go back here and go to my group chat. Anyway, you saw the graph. It was somewhere here. I lost the graph. Maybe I need to do this. I don't know. You saw the PCA graph. Okay, so if I just run this code, let's try this. Python preprocess, no, Python, cd group chat, Python preprocess and PCA 2. Let's see what happens. Boom! Here's our graph. So it doesn't save it as a PNG. I probably need to give it an instruction to save as a PNG. But it works in real time, as you saw. So yeah, I wrote it during the presentations, and I was so hyped that that's why it I couldn't present it because I was so hyped. Thank you once again, Rob. What an amazing slide deck. We should combine this, and we should also combine it with the mind map.